I think I'm recording. Hello, everyone. We are in week 4 here of Church and Its Doctrines, and I'm going to just go through a few quick things. I'm trying to do as many videos as possible just for kicks and to get you guys hopefully as up to speed and clear as possible and have me just do a little personable uh, insight and input onto your assignments. So, this week, let me just run down the stuff that you need to do. You've got your reading 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 23 in ends, so you'll be busy reading. Obviously, as usual, you'll have a reading report and a mini lecture report. So the mini lecture number 4 is on anthropology, obviously in your lesson 4 resource folder. And then you have a discussion board. So um, this week, some of you have already posted. I'll start commenting a little bit. Um, and it's on, let me just read it off to you. Provide a summary of what it means to be human. What are the universals of human experience? What is your view on the origin of man? In your opinion, is this the only biblical view? Have you ever experienced the dramatic effects of sin? How have you been able to explain the concept to others? What specific things can cause the Christian to sin? How do Christians overcome sin? Be bold in sharing your stories, but also be wise. So a lot of questions. If you haven't noticed yet, these questions in this course are a little bit more pointed, and there's usually several more of them than in most of your typical classes. So take your time and be thorough. And obviously, the first couple questions that there are going to be things that you cover in your reading and that sort of thing. So you're going to kind of reflect on what you're processing there. Um, the effects of sin, I think not that it's not covered at all in your reading, but that's going to be much more of a internal thought processing of your own experience and how you communicate it. Maybe in some ways a little more difficult than the first couple questions. But think through that and don't just give a pat answer of what's the effects of sin? Well, if you're not saved, you go to hell. If you are, you go to heaven. Blah blah blah. Get deeper. Think through if you were actually going to talk and speak on this and explain this to maybe a youth group or someone that you're leading and teaching. How would you explain that? Those things, and how do Christians overcome sin? This is it's a big one. And so yeah, enjoy that, and we'll be interacting on that more through the weekend. Um, Now let me just comment a little bit on your quizzes. Those of you that are freaked out, the overall uh, average last week in week 3 was I think a 42 or 43 average for the class, which is really good. If you're getting scores over 40, you're doing well. I'm not if low 40s doesn't mean necessarily that you're acing the exams, but that you're doing fine, that you're doing well. If you're hovering in the high 30s, it's not great. It's not going to absolutely kill you, but you really do want to get up there in the 40s, and for the most part, everyone the class average is like 42, 43, something like that. So people are doing really well. If you're struggling, as usual, please ask me or classmates for help, and we will help you. So let me just go into week 4 and the quiz here briefly, um, so that I can give you some maybe a little couple pointers, so you can feel somewhat confident as you do this week. Do this week's. All right. Um, so as usual, mostly multiple choice. There's some true false. I don't think there's any fill in the blank. Yeah, multiple choice and true false is all you're going to be doing. You're going to have some questions on several views on Adam's sin, so make sure you pay attention to that. And then obviously there's just a lot on sin, the doctrine of sin. Um, let's see. view. Several things on the view that man blah 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 blah. So you'll see that in your reading. There's a view on the days of Genesis that's going to be in there. Views on man's evolution are going to be in there. Couple questions on Hebrews. So always know the purpose of a book that's focused on. All right. Yeah, several questions on Hebrews, so make sure you're familiar with that. Question on James. I'm not covering all the books that are covered, but yeah, I think that I don't want to give too many away. Otherwise, I'm just literally giving answers. So that should get you started. Remember that your lesson objectives are always a good place to start when you're studying. And yeah, as always, if you guys have any questions, let me know. So have fun, and this class is pretty straightforward. Take care of your exams and your studies and your discussions, and you will do solid in the course. So bless you all. Love you. Talk to you soon. Bye.